Rush, rush, rush. All you do is rush. And you hate it. You hate being that way. Yet, at the same time, you defend it like it's the responsible way to be. What do you get from the careless mistakes, the stress, the anxiety that you keep chasing by rushing? What if the life you're chasing isn't on the other side of speed? What if it's on the other side of stillness? Patience is not a delay, it's a strategy, a way of moving forward with intention. The unpredictable nature of life requires time, and when you embrace the patience that life requires, you realize every step forward is grounded, intentional, and aligned with your real goals. And that's why patience is not an act of passive waiting. It's an act of skill, a willingness to endure uncertainty without forcing an outcome. It's the ability to stay the course even when the future feels uncertain, trusting that each deliberate pause is building a stronger foundation. It's not about forcing speed, it's about trusting each step. Patience allows you to navigate uncertainty with focus, knowing that measured restraint can bring you closer to your goals than rushing them ever could. It gives you room to think before you respond. It keeps you from treating every delay like a threat, and it reminds you that progress doesn't always announce itself the moment it begins. Sometimes the thing you're building needs more time than your impatience wants to give it, but that doesn't mean nothing is happening. It means the process is still working, even when you can't see the result yet right in front of you. Because you see, rushing can give you the illusion of control. It makes you feel like you're doing something, even when that something is careless, reactive, and poorly thought out. You move fast, but you don't always move well. You react before you've even taken a second to see what the situation is actually asking from you. And then you wonder why things keep feeling heavier than they need to feel. That's where patience starts to matter, because it gives you enough space to see clearly before you move. It helps you separate urgency from importance. It helps you recognize when something actually needs your attention and when you're just being pulled by pressure, fear, or impatience. Because not everything that feels urgent is actually important. A delayed answer is not always a problem. A slow result is not always a failure. A quiet moment is not always a sign that nothing is happening. But when you're rushing, you don't see that. You treat every gap like something needs to be filled. You treat every delay like something needs to be fixed. And instead of allowing life to develop, you keep interrupting the process before it has a chance to show you anything clearly. That is why patience is not weakness, because it takes strength to pause when your emotions want to take over. It takes awareness to wait when your mind is creating problems that may not even exist. And in that space, your next decision has a better chance of being honest, grounded, and actually useful. You see, the more patient you become, the less you confuse movement with progress. This is where patience shifts from being an idea to something you actually practice. Everybody likes the thought of being patient when nothing is testing them. It sounds easy when life is calm, but patience only becomes real when something is not happening the way you expected. When the result is taking longer than you wanted, or someone doesn't respond fast enough. When the opportunity hasn't been opened yet, or your effort feels like it's not being noticed. That's when the real work begins. It begins in that uncomfortable space where you want to force something, fix something, say something, or rush into the next move just so you don't have to sit with uncertainty. That's where people make some of their worst mistakes. They send the message they should have waited on, they quit too early, they demand answers before the situation has had a chance to reveal itself, and then later, once things calmed down, they realized they weren't acting from clarity. They were acting from discomfort. So building patience starts with noticing the moment you feel that internal pressure to rush. Before you move, ask yourself what you're actually reacting to. Is it the situation itself, or is it your need to feel in control? Because those things are not the same. Real patience gives you the ability to keep working without needing instant proof that it's working. It teaches you when to stay quiet long enough to understand what actually needs to be said. It gives a person, a plan, or a situation enough time to show you what it is before you rush to decide what it means. Patience is also accepting that the answer is just not ready yet, and not because life is against you, but because some things need time to reveal what they are. When you practice patience, you start seeing more. You notice patterns you would have missed. You catch emotions before they make the decisions for you. You give your effort enough time to turn into something real. That's where patience becomes powerful, not because it guarantees the outcome, but because it changes who you are while you're moving towards it. But you do have to also be honest with yourself, because patience and laziness are not the same thing. Laziness avoids the work, while patience respects the timing. And there's a big difference. If you're doing nothing, avoiding responsibility, making excuses, and calling it patience, then you're not being patient, you're hiding. But if you're showing up, putting in effort, staying consistent, and giving the process enough time to develop, that's different. That is patience. Patience still moves. It still pays attention. It still takes responsibility. It still does what needs to be done. The only thing it doesn't do is panic just because the result hasn't arrived yet. So don't confuse patience with sitting around waiting for your life to change. That's not patience. That's avoidance. Real patience is active. It works without needing instant reward. It trusts time without abandoning effort. And that's how you know the difference. Patience is not something you master once and never have to think about again. It is a lifelong process, something that develops day by day, year by year, decision by decision. You build it every time you choose not to rush a moment that needs understanding. Every time you stay consistent when the result is still unclear. Every time you give yourself enough space to respond instead of react. And the more you practice it, the more you realize patience is not only changing how you wait, it's changing how you live. It teaches you to trust effort without needing immediate proof. It teaches you to respect timing without abandoning responsibility. It teaches you to move with intention, even when life doesn't give you the answer right away. Because the truth is, the person you become while you are waiting matters just as much as the results you are waiting for. So slow down to notice what life is trying to show you. Stay present enough to keep doing your part, and let patience become a conduit for you to awaken and evolve.